Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Rob. And we're just going to get Anna in here.
Hey, Rob.
Well, actually, rather, it's not morning for...
It's not morning for anybody. Good morning, guys. Hello. Yeah, it's almost 5 p.m. over me, but to be honest, I woke up not so long ago. That's a whole complete story. How are you doing? What's up?
Well, I'm not doing too bad. Sorry about being late. I'm an asshole.
No worries.
That's actually probably a really good way of
to motivate yourself.
Not even but to make sure that I actually have my time put in my phone correctly is by going by the 24-hour time frame, because we don't go by 24 hours here, right? Actually funny, because like as soon as you threw in there like 16:15, I'm just like, fuck, duh, makes sense.
What does she mean, right? Yeah, I know. Sorry for that.
No. Actually,
I'm still a mess about the time zones. Not used to Canada. Definitely working ET and PST times over in the US. But yeah, this is a little bit tricky. So we're managing.
It's definitely like more my wife's wheelhouse, because like she streams on Twitch as well, and I would say about like 75% of her fan base, or well over 75% is over across the pond where you guys all are. Like
really?
she has most of her fans and her friends and stuff like that are all out in like Germany and in the Europe area and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
Yeah.
We should do a collab then. We should have your an addition with your wife as well. It's all spreading together. You know, I'm so hyped up today, man. It's like I'm dressed up, as you see. I did my lips, I did my makeup.
Looks gorgeous over there. Like I'm seeing the sunlight hitting you and I'm like, fuck.
You know what? It's beautiful. It's totally rad out there. So it's just one of these things. But
you can't see it, but yeah, it's gloomy and snowing out.
Spring is breaking out, you know, slowly heading on to summer. So like, fingers crossed for saving summer. But no, I'm so hyped because I just did one of the first in history remote photo shoots, I guess, with my friend over in UK. And it's I swear to God, it's one of those things, ask and you shall receive. Because I was literally talking to a couple of my photographer friends the other day. How the fuck do we do this? You know, like we had so much fun shit planned this year in terms of delegating stuff like that. And yeah, literally my friend Jody Cunningham, by the way, shout out, no name drop though. Lovely girl, so modest, so creative. Photographers.
If anyone has any socials, any links, or anyone that's watching, if you have any socials, any links or anything like that, I can't remember how I have my chat set, but throw it in chat. Like, go ahead and throw your links and stuff like that, and your handles and all that shit. I don't care. Go right ahead. If there's a bot in there that blocks it, I apologize. I'm still like kind of tweaking like the podcast aspect of.
You know what? It's funny. I think we had that problem the other day. Also, we were like wondering, do the live comments come across? Actually, for the folks, I think when I rewatch the rebroadcast, it does come up in real time publicly in the public chat. So I think all we throw on will go like sideways.
Yeah, see, even if it doesn't, if it doesn't in the future, like I'll come up with like an alternative way. Don't get me wrong, I love using StreamYard because I have like really big plans with that thing, with this program, because with this application, just because it's really user friendly. But when it comes to like the more, I guess, more advanced type of streams and stuff like that, I can develop something that's way better, where I can like do like better quality production and local recordings here. Where instead of it like doing the re-recordings on Twitch, I would actually like record and do the editing and everything here, rather than having to download it from a second source. That way the quality is just more raw.
Yep.
And
so we're trying it out. You know, this is an experiment number 2 that we're doing together. So we're figuring it out. We didn't have so much time to like prep this thing again. We're totally winging it. Okay, action, let's jump right into it. But in terms of moderating and producing the show, like whatever this might be and what it's going to develop into, but
production doesn't matter. It's all about like just actually like getting shit out there is what it boils down to in the end. Like you have to kind of like follow Vaynerchuk's.
We will get it slick at some point. We have all the quarantine, meaning all the time in the world. Hopefully not too long.
Yeah, exactly. And even like what Vaynerchuk says all the time too. He's just like, production is bullshit. Like especially when he gets really kind of annoyed when he's asked like, what cameras does your team use and shit like that.
There's no time for that. I noticed with my own Rock Downstairs stream, it takes so long even to cut things up and throw on a small logo and export that. Is just like hours if you don't have a freaking team to do that. And I do everything by myself. Obviously, you're also a one-man operation.
Oh yeah,
shout out to those of us that
DIY man.
But as you say, it's about content, actually, what we're talking about, what we're throwing out there. So as long as my broadcasting studio is properly framed, and I pretty much started from like kind of this view, and then all I can do is circling around so that I don't get fucking bored with my views. It varies on that level. Nothing else. Same room, same old story.
So tell me about the very so you teach choreography and dancing and all that, right?
Amongst others. Yep.
So how old were you when it first clicked, like choreography, dancing is like that's my jam? How old were you when that like first clicked?
Honestly, it's a funny story because I remember distinctly, like I started very early on as a kid, like taking classes and being kind of directed into activities aside of sports and just like interests. But I remember distinctly, I was 13 years old. There was an international conference. They used to host it. It doesn't exist anymore, at Silesian Dance Theater over at south of Poland, close to the German border, kind of like sideways to in the Silesia region. And I remember distinctly there was a Korean creator. I think she was actually a journalist, and she asked me, and I was a kid back then, man, 12, 11. She asked me, "So what do you want to be when you grow up?" And I was like, "I'm gonna be a choreographer." I probably didn't know the definition even yet, but true story. Like I choreographed my very first piece. It was a solo when I was 11. I knew shit, but yet already I had some expression to take to get out there, obviously, and the rest is history, literally. Now, when
For
I look
sure.
back on it, it's hilarious, to be honest, to be so precise in what you wanted to be. I wanted to be an archaeologist when I was a super small kid. I loved collecting stones and like digging up in dirt and stuff like that. But yeah, I guess kind of the stage was always my natural environment, and still until today, that's how I call it. Like everything is a freaking stage for me. There's no difference, to be honest. Like maybe,
Yeah.
maybe quarantine is a different kind of situation where like it's
You have
the
to get
least stage as you get, but this is the stage framework. Meter to the left, half a meter to the right. It's easy not to get lost.
Yeah, I see. Actually, that's actually funny that you mentioned that when you're saying like, "Oh, yeah, the world is my stage." That's you were. I've heard that expression so many times, and that's how a lot of s- sorry, I'm still trying to wake up and trying to like, get the cobwebs all shooken off.
Don't worry.
Uh,
I'm
anyways,
hyper because I did a photo shoot. It feels like I fucking did a live show for 2 hours. So the adrenaline is up. So sorry
but
for
anyways,
that.
but that's oh no, that's fine. Whatever, I need it if anything. But anyways, yeah, that's always like the just the way of kind of coping with being a high achieving creative
Yeah.
is that they kind of literally just treat the world as if it's like as if they're just on 24/7 because you should be like as a creative you should be because that's how
By the
you
way, Rob,
ultimately
sorry
master.
to interrupt you ever so rudely.
Oh, no,
Throw
it's
me,
okay.
please, the Twitch link, and I did figure out
Oh
how
shit,
to
son of a bitch.
share the son of a bitch. You're gone. I figured out how to share the
Yeah.
link in real time so that folks
Oh yeah,
literally
yeah.
see
I'm
what
sorry.
we see. Let's
It's
do
it's
that.
it's yeah, I'm TV. Oh yeah, it's
I'll
always
do the talking.
son of a bitch.
So, guys, we have a beautiful Saturday afternoon over here. Here's what happened within the last like 12 hours, let's say. I hooked up a charity like relief fund kind of thing, among others, for not only my rock dance theater, but for people involved with my work as well, meaning other performers, choreographers, rock and rollers, guitar players, pretty much anyone that comes onto my live podcast then. And to be honest, while we're jobless at the moment, we kind of try to create but yet need the minimal subsidies to kind of get that going. So I've done that. I've literally put all of the text and the materials and links up the last hours. Then I participated in a huge fundraiser charity hosted by David Ellefson's Youth Music
Mm,
Foundation over
mm.
from Arizona. So the guys were really like online for 5-6 hours, end up, having all kinds of cool guests like Dee Snider, among others, and Mark Weiss, the ever so cool photographer for rock. And so yeah, that was pretty exciting, to just hang out with all of them and listen to stories. That's pretty much what it was, doing good while telling stories. So
Fucking David
that was
Ellison.
my end.
God
What did you
damn
do
you.
within the last 6 hours, or before we went on?
Not that. Not fucking
Okay.
that. Well,
I'll hook
that's
you
a
up next
way
time.
cooler. Holy shit.
Well,
See, here's the thing, as far as, like, hanging out with rockers and shit like that, fuck, how is the best way to describe this? I am an I
fun,
am I am an
fun. That's
absolute
just pure
here's the
joy.
thing yeah, here's the thing, is, like, I'm a fucking ravenous fan, like, utter ravenous, right?
Mm.
However, I've never been one to fanboy out to the point where I'm trying to seek them out at every given opportunity. You see a lot of that with
Nah, that's
Vaynerchuk,
called
actually.
stalking. That's
Well, not
kind
so
of,
much like I wouldn't go, like,
stalking
toward,
mode.
like, to
There
the
are
point of
people like
stalking
that,
where
although
where
I don't know none.
yeah, it's like I was just more like just wanting the attention of that individual, of like of
Yeah.
that performer or whatever, like just that kind of mindset without getting into like stalker territory because that's the extreme side of that spectrum. But
Mm.
I'm just talking like those are just like really ravenous. I always wants like their attention, and you see it in the comments, you see it in videos, you see it when you go to live gigs and stuff like that. But for me, this is how I've always kind of like approached it. The only time in which that I'll actually like seek to try and meet an artist or anything like that is only if I am actually invited, and by that is either directly or indirectly, where they're like, "We're gonna be over at the merch table after our gig. Come say hi." That's an
Yeah.
invitation. That's it, right? No more than that. I don't wait outside. I don't wait outside their bus. I don't wait outside like the gate to try and wait. Hey, you're over here. Like I don't do any of that because here's the thing:
Some
is that
people are more desperate slash determined or whatever than
right?
others, I
And so
guess.
my mindset has always been, unless I have the invitation, I'm like, I get to experience them on stage and literally at their fucking deadliest, right?
Yeah.
And so if they can hit their performance and make me satisfied, that's all I want. That's all I want from them. Because anything more than that might tarnish that experience as a result of you potentially knowing the fuck out of them.
Mm.
So
You
I
know what?
always want
Like,
to make sure that
here's the
it
thing.
stays as
There's,
pure as
I,
possible and just leave them
I
alone.
think there's just like a very, very fine line to anything that you do
It's true.
in
It is very
in
true.
communication.
Mhm.
Period. It's like some people don't feel a limit where it's already a little bit too close, and the other person feels trapped, and that goes pretty much to anyone you even meet on the street or hang out at a coffee shop. It's kind of, I think normal people kind of get that and know how to, shuffle that around, and some don't. Like I've had that too. Some people are very, um I don't want to
Overbearing?
use the, well, yeah, that could be that as well, but somehow sticky, in the
Oh,
sense that,
yeah.
that I know I'm intense in any kind of thing, but you know what I mean, like when it gets too entrapped, and it's
Mm.
really someone trying to cover you within their own bubble, kind of, and it's
Oh,
hard
that's a
to
good way of
describe.
looking at it,
It's
yeah.
purely on an energetic level, but I know exactly what you mean. It's one of these things, is like too much is too much. It's like, I don't want to say back the fuck off, because I've experienced that.
It's rude,
I've
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, just
Excuse me.
like respect anything, and feel when the moment is right. It's like I remember so many stories, like not mine, but let's say, who was that? Well, someone from the biz was actually talking about when is the proper moment to kind of approach. Could I get a selfie, kind of thing? And some moments are better than others, I guess. We laugh. I mean, of course, I'm not any kind of rock star, huge format either way, but basically it's the very same thing, that if no one wants a photo with you anymore, no one wants to talk to you, no one wants to take a selfie, that's when you should worry. It's like, why not? That's the least you could kind of do, to be respectful towards people that actually made you where you are. But at the same time, it's always good, and shout out to all of you people that kind of don't know the difference sometimes. um Feel out if someone is having lunch, a private conversation, private dinner, and then not maybe just bomb that. And that's just knowing the moment when it's right. Purely that. If not, at the moment it might be just rude. You might risk pissing someone off, number one. But yeah, other than that, we don't treat it, and I think no one treats it at this point so seriously, because it's one of those things. Like, imagine being a kid and wanting to have that experience, and someone you so look up to and is your absolute fucking hero, like, this is you off. It stays with you, man. It stays with you for a really long time. And even I remember, like, a replacement teacher, I think I was 6 back then, and replacement teacher, I kid you not, criticized me having an elegant jacket with like tiger kind of patches, and because she was, I don't know, she had her own problems, whatever, and she just kind of acted that out on a 6-year-old. and she asked me to do something in class, and she criticized me in front of everyone. And man, it stayed with me so long, up until the extent that I did not wear the fucking jacket up until a couple of years recently. Can you imagine?
Just recently.
It was all short. I had to cut it up. I did like an
Holy
overall
shit! Did
cover
that
from
like
that, but I
that kind of
remember
like
that,
it possibly scarred you as a result of getting
not
teased like
not
that?
necessarily scarred, but as a
Not
kid you
scarred, but
didn't
like
pick up
I'm not
on.
sure that's an extreme word, but still, holy shit! Like
Holy
I'm
shit,
not gonna
it
wear
was
this
what.
because like
Now
one
when I
person
think
said
of it,
something about it.
it's
Fuck,
exactly that
crazy.
thing when you don't realize what you say or do might
Yeah,
affect someone that you've just met for 30 seconds once in your life. Because as I said, it was a replacement teacher, nothing permanent. In and out, boom. Yet the memory stays forever, and it's weird. So
wild.
I always say that about that. To be honest, it's like don't be an asshole to anyone. Just be kind, because
Yeah,
you never know who has a moment, and maybe it is that exact moment when you meet someone you so look up to, and you hope they're as cool as kind of the other side the cover shows, and then it turns out that it's not. That's the worst kind of disappointment I think that one could get. But that's just
yeah.
my one woman's opinion on that, to be honest. So
No, I agree with that completely. Like there's always that looming fear of meeting your heroes and them not turning out to be who you think they are. Like there's
yeah,
always like that.
expectation, right?
Yeah, yeah. And so that's like essentially you putting people on particular pedestals. And you have to be very, very weary of that with every well, for me it's with everyone. And that's doesn't come from a place of a lack of trust. It's more of a lack or just more of boundary awareness, right? You just and that goes both ways, and that goes with when you're trying to approach um, a public figure or a musician or someone popular or whatever, right? It's trying to get a grasp and understanding of their boundary without
Yeah,
without any context. But at the same time, if you're, in my opinion, if you're a real fan of any particular artist or individual, you should, and if you're truly a fan and you're listening to them, it's like you should automatically know what the boundary is,
yeah.
in my opinion. It's
Well,
like, no,
I
you
think we're no, I think I know exactly where you're coming from, and we're kind of on the same page.
mm,
I think by fan we can say that it's the most positivity as you can get, because it's a bunch of people so passionate about anything that it's just
yeah,
like pure love, pure support, and stuff like
yeah,
that. But there are exceptions, and I think we're talking exactly about these kinds of exceptions where people don't don't figure where the limits are, and they cross the line. And we've had that in history. Gear being stolen, and people being touched in wrong ways, and like all kinds of stuff where limits have been crossed and there were consequences because of it.
Randy
So
Bly.
for example, wait, what was that also recently? Ah, ding ding ding, 3, 2, 1. Axl Roses band, Guns N'
Guns N'
Roses.
Roses.
Thank you very much. Half a brain, I'm burning brain cells
what
as we
uh
speak.
what of Guns N' Roses? What happened with them recently?
Well, there was one gig where security went, and
Fuck.
all equipment was trashed.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, their gear was
Nada.
trashed.
Absolutely everything was fucking destroyed. Everything. I mean, I don't want to quote a situation right now because I really don't remember. That there have been a couple of those in rock history, and I'm not a historian. I'm kind of just hearing from what I know myself and from what I read and from books and biographies and stuff. But there was one of the big ones where kind of no one knows what happened. Either
Was that
security
recently or
gave.
was that a few years back?
You know what? I might be mixing up two stories because it happened to two really main bands kind of out in the business, and one was because of one thing, the other one because of the other thing. Meaning the
Okay.
band kind of initiated that, and everyone kind of rebelled in, and it was game over. So yeah, I don't want to mix up two of them, but it comes down to pretty much human control or lack of. Then again,
Yeah.
and but I did wanted to nat on you said something very very interesting and very correct. I think it's very important, I think, for especially young people to have someone to look up to, period, like
Mm,
a hero in any kind of field that makes you be better for who you are, not trying to pretend someone to imitate, because that doesn't exist. It's like be yourself and the best version of yourself, but in the sense of it keeps you out of trouble, it keeps you out of doing dumb shit, and hell, I always had those heroes kind of. I was falling in love back and forth with all kinds of people and artists, and I had inspiration, and that kept me going. I had my own goal, as we talked about the alcohol thing the
Mm,
last time. It's just like if you have nothing to do, nothing or no one to look up to, it's like you look for trouble, and it finds you because
yeah.
you allow that. So
Yeah, yeah. And see, as when you're getting into that realm where you're talking, where you're looking up to certain people, and again, you're not emulating them or anything like that, but essentially you're taking on their beliefs and values and trying to incorporate them into your own.
the ones
But
that
at
make
still
sense.
yeah, the ones that make sense. And but at the same time, there in my opinion, there shouldn't be just like one single individual. I think you should be tapping into multiple minds to try and take the best aspects of them, incorporate them into yourself. So for
Mm,
example, like for me, the one like intellectual unlock for me was when I started listening to Jello Biafra's spoken word stuff. Jello
mhm.
Biafra, he's the original vocalist for Dead Kennedys back in the 70s and 80s.
All right.
Anyways, but once I started listening to like his spoken word stuff, like not his album, but his spoken word is incredibly powerful, and that was kind of like a intellectual unlock for me, and so I really went to him for essentially thinking more outside the box, like thinking for yourself and adopting similar mindsets of if uh if I'm working at a place, if I was the boss, what would I do?
Mm,
And I'm paraphrasing, but how he says it is that it's like, try and think about if you were the boss, what you would do. You're not gonna come up with the right answer every time, but at least it'll make you smarter. And when he said that, I was like, "Oh, fuck." Which for me was the green light to try and experiment with different solutions, even if you're wrong. Oh well, if you fucked up, then all the better. That was the intellectual green light for me from a intelligent person that I looked up to. That was the green light for me to go ahead and fuck up and think on a higher level above my current station.
mm. Yeah, I mean, if not mistakes, we wouldn't learn.
Oh,
I
exactly,
think
right?
that's the whole point of imperfection, and kind of looking back, however objective you can. Of course, it's hard. I know that through myself. It's like I hate to make mistakes, but at the same time, I know that's kind of the only way to admit to yourself, not
Mhm.
lying to yourself, not like getting yourself hooked up on your own coolness, which my ego has been always hidden, yet I always knew that I had a certain position then. It was more not really arrogance, but it was kind of self-confidence, to be honest, that like literally mission there,
Mm.
for throttle, so to speak. So but yeah, it's kind of one of those things when you realize and you do analyze the process of what went wrong, what did I do, and in which categories, and how can I make it better. There's no excuse for like a third error. Obviously, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, fool me three times. But now it means you're really either just stupid or not thinking or completely ignorant. And I think ignorance is the worst thing that you can pretty much have or be. I'm allergic to two things, like on a humanitarian side, is like stupidity and ignorance. Fuck that. It's just the worst that creates all kinds of problems
Mm.
because people
Yeah,
don't learn. I don't remember who I was talking to about
mm,
that the
stuff
other
like that.
day, about history and how we don't learn from history. That's why I couldn't be more ignorant. I mean, criticize me all you want, but to be honest, I could not give less fucks about history, meaning World War I, World War II, 9/11, previously than that, ancient history, because we don't learn. It's all coming back over and over. I love rock history, for example, or arts history, because there you could kind of really see the spectrum. Like, hey, listen, errors and mistakes have been done by these people because of age, because of being inexperienced, because they're just starting out. So how would they know better than to learn on their own mistakes or somebody else's in the community, the people that they hang around. So it's like one of these things. Okay, now we learn drugs don't really take you anywhere because people started dying left and right at age 27. um Being fucked over by managers and like allowing yourself to agree to do a show for 1/10 of your rate, just so to kind of get things forward. And even today, I have
That's like
people,
AC/DC for the first 30 years of their existence. Fuck.
for example, but even I have people around in Europe within, let's say, dance theater community. Like, here's the thing that I kind of changed. I've been in the wide spectrum of performing arts in dance theater most of my life, and 4 years ago I tapped into music. So I consider
Mm.
myself in the music business with my stuff that I do, because those problematics are so understood way better. I've done pretty much everything there is to do on that level, and still today creators, choreographers, artistic directors are desperate enough. I kind of get it and not at the same time, but they're shooting themselves on the fucking foot. It's like they agree to perform for a ridiculously small rate, having 30,
Mm.
40, 50 years in the business, like grad schools right and left. For what? Just to kind of really do a small gig for pay that is just beyond demeaning? I don't get that. It's like, that's why I'm not on the map in many places, and I kind of decided to sleep better at night and be true to myself. So I'm not a hypocrite. I don't agree to tapping into certain things. I don't take certain gigs. I don't take certain festivals. Well, not now. Now I would take anything. Like in fucking COVID, like, please book me anywhere. I will say yes. I will do it even for fucking free. Just let me out.
See,
But
isn't that fucking absolutely incredible? Where like 2 months ago, your boundaries and your framework and where as a creative was set in stone to that, where it's like there's certain gigs,
no,
certain
let
festivals,
me
all that
let
kind of
me
stuff you
let me
won't do.
rephrase.
But now
My
you
ethics,
will,
my
like,
ethics have not changed. That was like
oh
a
yeah, yeah,
really
ethics
dark
wise, but
dark
yeah.
humor. I really rephrase that. Absolutely nothing has changed at that level. But what I mean by that, it's definitely a positive attitude is way better than a negative. Meaning, like, embracing a yes kind of lifestyle, saying yes to many things, because that brings all kind of good you might not realize at the time. But what I mean, just be smart about your business. Don't get fucked over. Don't agree to curators that delegate how much you should be paid when you're a professional for so long. It's like the natural scope should be going up, that you earn more the longer you're in the business, the better you are, and so on and so forth. So natural growth. To be honest, there's so many people that are still educating curators, again, young managers, people that had no fucking clue about the practical side of things. And it's not that I'm complaining, it's just a fact. It's just a fact. And it's been there 30 years ago. It's been there 40 years ago before I was born. Same problematics. Yet it's like no one kind of, puts that wall down, and so that it can change. And that
Mm,
bugs me. But at the
yeah.
same time, I'm not in that community. I chose to jump out of that awarely, and I'm so much happier for that. I prefer to have what I have exactly now. I'm super grateful for that, because I know I'm doing the right thing. Otherwise, I would be selling my ass right and left. You know, figuratively and literally, probably.
Oh, that
Here's
was
my Saturday black
gold.
humor. Cheers to
Oh,
you.
that was
Cheers, Canada. I love you guys over in
fucking
Calgary.
gold. That was so good.
Applause and scene.
Oh, no way, man.
See,
We're not
this is
ending
this
on that.
is
That was
rock dance
so
theater.
good.
I mean, like, I would so love,
So
Rob,
nice.
that you come over to my gig one time, or I, if God forbids and allows everything to go according to our plans, I would so love to do a gig in Canada, just to kind
Oh,
of like
man.
go
It's
back on the vibe and have
seriously,
this just over a non-alcoholic beer. That would be so much fun. I'm so
Calgary is
enjoying
the
this. So
fucking
that you
shit.
know.
Yeah, Calgary, like, yeah, Calgary's the shit when it comes to the nightlife and actually like finding finding entertainment. Like
Mm,
whether if you want to stop at a local comedy club to catch like yeah, just catch a comedy act, like just a random one, whether it be like Yuck Yucks or anything like that, you can do that. There's a lot of tons of music. There's always fucking tons of music.
nice.
And if you're more into dancing, like there's dance clubs and stuff like that. Like there's like the ones for the younger people, but if you're more into like if you want to do
I've
like
been
salsa
to a
dancing and shit like
disco
that, you
maybe 5 times in my life.
see
Seriously, it's just
yeah, I'm not that diverse. I've been to a lot of different kinds of performances and stuff like that, but I'm not that diverse. It's like I've been to a couple of operas. I've been to a couple of like theaters. Like I've seen let's see, Death of a Mailman and the fuck was the other one? West Side Story.
Ah,
I've seen that one a couple of times as well. And where's the other one? Crap, can't remember the other one. Anyways, but I've seen a couple of like theater performances, but and
people
it
Google it, find it. What Rob meant.
yeah. Yeah, West Side Story, it's, essentially, it's like a modern day, Romeo and Juliet story, but
Yeah, exactly.
yep, exactly, and it was really, really good. Actually, the one that I saw the first time that I saw it performed live was a friend of mine and her then boyfriend, who would be her future husband, performed in it, and, when I was
All
living
right.
down in Lethbridge, and it was really good. It was really, really good, and I've been to a couple of musicals now that I think about it, holy shit, but I can't remember which ones they were.
By the
Anyways,
way, that was like I think 22, 23 years ago. Do you remember a Metro musical coming over to Canada touring back in the day?
oh, that would've been outside my time, sadly.
Okay.
When it comes to actually going
Just
to
curious.
yep.
Just the colorful letters written as a logo, Metro the musical. And that was kind of a story about, young people being passionate about life, passionate about singing, dancing, each other, directed by Janusz Józefowicz. Yeah, they toured worldwide. I'm curious where they have been in Canada and if at all, to be honest. I'm sorry for not knowing that, but yeah, maybe
Oh,
you've
the
actually
we got the
saw a
technology, I'm
poster.
Googling it right now.
All right.
It's like,
There you
okay,
go.
yeah, okay, they're Polish musical. G d
I could check that too, but it's like it's kind of rude when we're live, just like,
no,
hang
yeah, it's
on, we
like
gotta type some stuff
I
in.
know, it's like, I'm trying this is where it kinda is nice to have, like, a third person,
A
like, that kinda, like, runs
moderator.
and yeah, whereas you'd be like, "Hey, pull this up," and then ding. Yeah, because I do agree, it can be kinda
By
rude
the
where you
way,
just kinda
guys,
look up.
shout out whoever is watching. If anyone is watching, you see the number count. I don't. Hey, if you're interested in losing some time creatively, helping out a live stream podcast to be a little bit in the green room, a little bit backstage, hit Rob
Actually,
up.
that's a good
I
way of,
guess.
putting it. Hey, actually, can I segue something? Because I wanna get your opinion on this.
Sure, sure.
Have you been following, the story around Ticketmaster lately?
Like 3 times literally, and just headlines. I have not read the whole thing, but yeah,
No?
I'm aware of the thing.
What's your thoughts on that? Or actually rather, what's been your experience with dealing with Ticketmaster, if at all?
Almost none, to be
Almost none?
honest. Um, if I get tickets myself, the ones that I like really buy and invest and bleed out from my bank account for, I think it was Live Nation most of the time, or other platforms, or I just buy it on the door if I attend shit. Other than that, I cannot say that I haven't been spoiled because I'm lucky enough that some friends just hook me up and I get tickets or invites and stuff. But no, the ones that I really buy, I don't remember if I really had a bad experience within ticket refunds, to be honest. But here's the thing: at the same time, I really come from a time where tickets meant something completely different. It was a piece of paper at the box office. Period. This new era of online and laws and refund policy is new to me. So to be honest, I
Mhm.
rarely even read everything involved with it. I know there's like a million people behind it within the system, starting from promoters, managers, company sponsor, da da da. So it's not easy. On a fan level, I think it's basically a generalized hell because it's laws within themselves. So sorry, not Live Nation, Ticketmaster, that you just mentioned. To be honest, I do not have an opinion because as I say, I've been ignorant. I've just seen the headlines, but I do see people and my friends that are kind of pissed off on social media, and they do post and comment that what the fuck about that topic, and all kinds of people try to explain or give advice what they could do, and I think it's the presidents right now, to be honest, within
Yeah.
the situation. Even Mitch Lafont, one of the guys that is doing one of the biggest rock talks online since years, has covered the topic. I haven't seen his episode on that, but I probably will at some point, just out of curiosity how things unwind. How about you? Do you have a ticket literally on hold that
No,
you
no,
gotta
no,
need
thank
to
God,
get a
no.
refund for, and
No, the tickets that we
shows
actually
are
did, that we did
canceling
have on
right and left?
for see, was it We had tickets for Flotsam and Jetsam, Power Glove, and fuck, what was the third one? I don't know. We had 3 tickets, but not through Ticketmaster. They were through a different outlet, and
All right.
they refunded us like without question, like
Mhm.
quickly. And anyways, uh,
Was
but
the show
yeah,
canceled or
oh,
postponed?
canceled,
That's
full
what.
blown canceled. Yeah,
Okay,
all the 3 gigs that we were gonna go to, like, rather we were Flotsam and Jetsam should have happened like a month ago, or
gotcha.
yeah, sometime last month. But anyways, uh, but or sometime. Either way,
It's March 88th, by the way, if you're mixed up with your calendar.
yeah. The Now with Ticketmaster, I've been going to concerts and stuff like that and buying tickets like actually digitally. Actually, holy shit. Majority of the tickets I've ever
Which is
bought in
most
my
of you
entire
do,
life has
right?
been digitally. Yeah, yeah. Just like
Yeah, you can
as
print them,
fans.
but it costs extra, and also shipping them in a hard copy costs extra. So
Oh yeah,
that's a
absolutely.
whole,
And I always pay the extra. Like when it comes to that, I always pay the extra and get the physical. I always do that because I try and well, hold on a second. I got my little knickknack of stuff here. Like for
Oh, I
example, I
have
got
plenty. Don't
yeah,
worry.
I got like this is like fucking tip of the iceberg. Like the last one that I had in here.
We're gonna do an unboxing
Oh
officially because
oh
for sure, man, like we could just talk about the content of your own room. That's probably how much cool gear and history you got over there. That's
Well,
amazing. I love that
speaking
already.
first bloody ticket I pull out that I have in here that I haven't had a chance to catalog or anything is this one here. Please tell me you know of these guys. Sorry, it might not.
Wait, it's blurry. Wait a sec. Amon
M-
Amaranth
Amon
Pale.
Amarth. Come
Yeah,
on, do you know them?
Berserker. I haven't seen them live ever, but I know
Amon
of
Amarth.
them.
Yeah, you better
Yeah,
because they're like in your backyard.
they're really death metal. Am I
Oh yeah,
mistaken?
they're Viking death metal.
There you go. Yeah.
Viking
Wait a
death
minute. I
metal.
saw them on some bill. Which festival was that? Somewhere in Europe. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like
Full on.
everyone, like every single one of them. Yeah.
Probably right. Like I've seen them on a poster. It's like it's way too much to grasp. Even that's awesome. Which year is that from?
Oh, that was just back in October. This past October.
Ah, there you
Yeah,
go.
that was
Recent
my
history.
third. That was my third time seeing them. That they come around here pretty regularly.
Yeah.
Anyways, but my 30th birthday was at an Amon Amarth show.
Seriously.
Fuck yeah, that was a
Nice.
every birthday I try and like that's my birthday gift essentially to myself because I don't I don't do
You want a
anything for my
cool
birthday.
gift? Get it yourself, right?
It's like,
That's
yeah,
that's
it's like
funny.
I don't I don't celebrate my birthday. I just don't. Like I even though
Why
I'll have
not?
my birthday, I don't know. I've just never been into like having a day about me. I've never been
All right.
about that, right? And I've always
It's okay to get one day of a year, just for yourself and
I
be
don't know.
just
It's just like
purely selfish.
I just never liked that sort of attention because of an arbitrary day.
Mhm.
To me anyways.
You know what? At the same time, it's kind of stupid. Like, why should the whole world celebrate a day of your birth? It's like we've all been born at some point in time, right? It's just like the whole
I'll
concept
celebrate
is a
the
little bit silly, I think. But
I'll always celebrate, like, the
getting a
birthdays
gift,
of, like,
not.
my yeah, like, I'll celebrate the birthdays of, like, my siblings and my niece and stuff like that because, like, that shit's important to them. Like, if it's important to them, yeah, I'm gonna support them in that regard. But for me as a recipient, it's like, I don't give a shit. I just don't. And so what
Well,
I do as I there's only 2 things that I want when it comes to my birthday is to go to a
concert
live
tickets and concert tickets.
Yes. Uh, a gig actually, funny you mentioned that because that's exactly what happened last year, but I'll get to that in a second. Um, but there's only 2 things I want. Either I wanna go to a gig, and my wife always asks me, "What do you want for your birthday dinner?" And she always asks, like, "What do you want for your birthday dinner?" Those are the only 2 things that I want. That's it. And so, yeah, so just as a recipient, I've just never been about like my birthday, but I'll always try and go to a concert and I'll invite whatever friends that I want. So of course, my 30th birthday rolled around and Mon Marth's coming around coming around the
So bad.
neighborhood. So I'm like, fuck yeah, we're gonna go to Mon Marth. It was an awesome time. Just this past September, for again for my birthday, I was like, okay, well let's see what gigs are gonna be coming around, or because it's tour season, and
Mm.
I get fucking 2 of them back in September, and that was those 2 guys down here. These the black one and the white one, these 2 ones. So the black one here,
Cannot
that
read that.
was
Sorry.
yeah, you can't. Yeah, you won't be able to read these, but
Too
this black
dark.
one here, the black one here was Revocation, Voivod, and fuck, Conjurers, Psychos. Yeah, but the Skeletal Remains, that's what it was, but except they had to cancel. But anyways, but the white
Okay.
one, that was the big one. Holy motherfucker. Despised Icon from Montreal and Kubla Khan from Texas. Oh my god. That show was
See, I've learned something today because I only Voivod I know. The rest I'm
Voivod.
not familiar with. Probably
Voivod,
I've heard them, somewhere, but like name wise, like no, doesn't ring a
yeah,
bell. I will Google that.
Voivod
I
is
will
in
do my homework today.
Voivod is an old school
Yeah.
a band from Montreal. Like I think they've
How
been around
long
since
have they
like
been around?
82, I think.
Yeah, that's what I just wanted to say. Like for sure, 80 something. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was like 82 or something like that. And then Revocation, they're out of
I'm gonna write that down.
Minnesota. We do Revocation, yeah, thrash metal band. They're
Oops,
fucking
sorry.
sweet. But Kubla Khan, if you're into like hardcore and shit like that, like metal, I should say metalcore. Yeah, if you're like more into uh like just straight up death metal slash like hardcore and kind of like the mix of the two, Kubla Khan is really really good out of Texas. But except you have to like really like hardcore though, and they're badass. And that same goes.
Depend hardcore, to be honest. Like, is there music still in? Because for me, it's just it can be dark as fuck, but there has to be music. If it's just noise, you know what? It kind of makes me tired. I need to, get out of it.
Yeah,
I need
give him a
something
give
to.
him a spin. I would give
Oh, that's saying
Kubla
nothing.
Khan a spin.
Hey,
They just had an
let,
album
let
release,
me
I think back in November or sometime late last year called Absolute. That was a
all right.
ripping good album.
Absolute, which is absolutely
Absolute.
in Swedish.
Oh, really? Just
Yeah.
absolutely is just absolute. Okay. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess you have the vodka, the sweet vodka. That's called Absolute. Okay.
Well, that's actually, yeah, that's a whole other story. I have a friend that
Yeah,
actually
no, it's like,
collects Absolute vodka and
oh no shit.
all of the projects and merch. Literally,
Oh
he invited me over to
fuck.
his house like 2 years ago, and he has everything, man. Like starting from the huge bottle that looks like a scientific, NASA. I don't know how to freaking call it. It's transparent. You go in and you're literally in a vodka bottle. Number one, up until small pins and shirts and stickers, like
I love people like that.
ridiculously.
I love people like that have like
It was a
have
little
like
bit
that one
much.
thing or that one brand or just that one thing, one brand where
Yeah.
they just plaster
That
their
defines
fucking
your
room with
life,
it.
right?
Oh
No,
man,
because
that's so awesome.
I asked him. For me, it's fantastic, to be hooked on something as strongly. I asked him, what would happen if you had to sell all of that shit? All of a sudden, like he didn't know what to reply. It's like it's
Because
his
because
life,
he could
it's his
never imagine
existence.
himself parting from it. That's why.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
I mean, he has because he was saying, okay, I have a couple of those, a couple of bottles, the same ones, just as backups, and then backups of backups. And I was laughing like, oops, what if
Back
this
of
fell
the
off a
back.
shelf? It's like a limited collection kind of thing. No,
That sounds
but
like someone who collects fucking sports cards. Jeez, wonder who that sounds like. My
please don't
god, it's
let's not
hilarious.
go there because I
No,
cannot
it's not my
I don't
wheelhouse.
have no, I wouldn't have anything to say, and this stream would be over.
Yeah, no,
Swear to
when it
God,
comes to sports
nothing
car,
to
I'm
say
just
about
more
sports cards.
I'm taking a dig at Vaynerchuk because he's always fucking talking about it. Anytime he talks about stuff that I don't like, that I'm not overly interested in, I kind of end up just going. Whenever he talks about like,
Off.
I like his passion when he talks about wine, but when it comes to actually like
Even if
listening
you
to him
don't
talk
drink
about
any,
wine, I'm just
right?
like,
That's
yeah,
kind of manageable.
it's just, again not my wheelhouse. But again, same with sports cards. He'll talk about sports cards. I'm like, I'm like,
Snooze mode. Yeah,
yeah, but
kind of.
there's a when I was doing major appliance deliveries, that was actually the one really, really fucking cool thing that I actually enjoyed about that job is the
Human
diversity
interaction.
of different homes that you walk into and the different
Mm.
rooms that you see. I've seen some really fucking swanky and some really tripped out stuff, man. And especially when you're walking into a
Tell me
room and
one. What was one of the
there's this
trickiest? Let's
one
say.
dude that had like I was just impressed. Yet I had to go through his pool room that was just covered with posters of like old 60s, 70s, and 80s rock and metal bands. And I was just and he has all like the framed vinyls and shit like that all posted. And I'm sitting there fucking geeking out, looking at it all. He has all his
Can
bass
I take a
guitar,
picture
couple
of
of
this?
yeah, they're buried somewhere on my hard drive. But anyways,
Oh, did you? I was actually joking.
yeah, no, oh, absolutely. I always be playing like it's like can I because a lot of the times it's gonna be either the boyfriend slash husband that's at work and I'm dealing with the lady of the house and so she's at home either doing work or doing schoolwork and I go through this room like, can I take a picture of this? And she'd be like, oh yeah, actually, he's
I get that all the
they
time.
love it when they get people that love this kind of stuff. And then I've run into rooms where I've ran into like full blown nerd dens where it's like you see 4 or 5 computers set up and screens fucking everywhere, and you got a big ass projector with a random movie or show being played, and coupled with all your Bond fixtures and weed and your big ass couch. Yeah, man, I've ran into like full blown nerd dens, nice ones and disgusting ones.
And disgusting ones,
Oh,
man.
especially
Well,
the
people are really into all kinds of stuff. I imagine, and that's kind of the thing. You really surround yourself by stuff that you love.
yeah.
It's like it's fascinating at the same time. You might as well could make a photo book of just titled rooms I've been into. It's
Wish,
like
man,
just look
that would
at
be
that.
fucking
That's
if I could
pretty
like upload
crazy.
if I could upload my consciousness onto a hard drive, I would actually and recall all of that. I would show you some trippy shit. It was kind of cool.
Oh, what was the movie with Johnny Depp when he's a doctor and he's dead and they upload his soul and his brain like onto a hard drive? You know
Stop
which one?
motion. Yeah, I know exactly which one you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, if they
Yeah,
did that to me, that would be a fucking sequel. It would be endless. Like no one could handle that amount of experiences, feelings, thoughts, ideas. It would be too much.
yeah.
I freeze supercomputers. As a kid, I was raised, with computers and stuff because my dad was a scientist, and yeah, I
Oh, really?
froze those up.
Tell me about that. Yeah, because like now you've piqued my motherfucking interest like really hard. Holy
Should
shit.
we do
Oh,
an episode 3 then? Not to kind
yeah.
of
Yeah,
because oh man, that's such a
I'm
long story.
sorry.
I think we
I'm
should
sorry.
save it for a third one.
Yeah, because I'm really curious. Well, let's
Good.
let me
Hopefully, more people than you, because I
what about your
told
mom?
you
What
I
did your mom
yap a lot. So
give me like a 30-second like thing of what your mom did, so that way you can kind of get me built up as to like what your childhood was kind of like. Because I'm kind of curious as to what your parenting.
twisted. I was a weird kid. No, I mean, lovely childhood up until the moment when I divorced my parents. So that's a cute story. Hence the growing up very early. 13 years of age. I'm gonna be a choreographer. No, but my background story. This my dad was a brain research scientist. Studied physics. Was in the military, aviation force, aviation medicine, among others. Da da da. Mom, on the other hand, business professional, international exchange, figure ice skater back in the day, multi-talent, pretty much, very entrepreneurial, if you will. Now, how we understand that. So I'm kind of a mix of both, arts and science at the same time. I'm very analytical, yet very chaotic, creative, and then hardcorely open like that. So to be honest, like the
Your dad being
freakiest
the intellectual, your
marriage
mom
ever.
being the business lady, and then you being the fucking creative. So yeah, I can see where there's a bit of
You know
conflict.
what? Here's the thing: if we could wrap up
Yeah,
this
well, I was
this
kind of more
this
curious
stream
now. I
in
got
one
conflict
word
I'll touch on.
or in one sentence,
So
150%, I'm not adopted. That's for sure.
mm,
So it's kind of one of
totally,
these.
man, sometimes. Well, we'll get into that on episode numbers five. Right, no,
Number zwei,
two.
number drei.
Did I is 3. I can only count to 9, and that's thanks to Ramstein.
Du hast homework, Rob.
I can't remember what song it was, but there's one where they literally just count to 9, and I'm just like, "What the fuck are they saying?" I Google it, and I'm just like, "Oh shit, they're literally just counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
They're
7."
literally counting.
Yeah, exactly.
Well,
Alright, cool. We'll
at
wrap
this
it up
point, you could
here.
might as well write just a lyric that is ja jawohl, which is yes and yes in a different form, period, and that would be enough, as
I
long
know
as it's heavy and thrashy and stuff. So it
as
works.
as far as, like, any other languages is concerned, I know fuck all. Like, English is the only
Ah,
thing that I know shit
of
all the
course.
languages. I'm
Oh,
such a redneck.
someone popped on. Just
Hey, Amy,
another
how are you?
Amy.
Yes, Amy. She's
Good morning.
gonna talk about a
I guess
pretty
you have another guest now, so you can take it from here then, and while I
absolutely.
pop out.
Yeah, will do. There, all right. Well,
Awesome, Rob.
we'll schedule another one. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, and then we'll do another one of these. We'll do number 3, and then we'll kind of
Totally.
on.
And probably we still have to manage like the previous episode and this one so that it can be
Because I
thrown
ran
on
into
there and shared.
yeah, I'm gonna do that all today. I bit off way more than I could fucking chew yesterday because
I can imagine. No worries.
I
That's
had
a
a
lot of
big
material.
epiphany yesterday, and that epiphany consumed my entire day yesterday. So
Do you want to share? Do you want to tell me what the epiphany was? Because that's
yeah,
good. Usually when
it's
that hits.
oh yeah, and it hit me at like 6 a.m. Like actually, when we were while we were getting ready for morning with Gary V for tea
Yeah.
with Gary V in the morning, I'm normally
Was
up
that
about
was there one today, by the way?
no, not today. No, he doesn't do it on the weekends.
Okay,
Only Monday to Friday if he can.
gotcha.
But
So
anyways,
like for me, it's March 88th. I'm getting
yeah,
lost
that's
here.
right. But anyways, so while I was like I'm always up about 2 or 3 hours before he even does any of that. But anyways, I was making my tea and kind of just doing my morning routine and whatever. And then it struck me because he's been going on and on and on and on social media about the all in challenge, right? And so that's been kind
Yeah.
of like circulating in my head. And I've been seeing and just being completely blast all over my social media. And that's all that I've been kind of seeing. And so my gears were already in that mode. But then my mind has also been fixated on what I've been currently doing, which is getting back into playing World of Warcraft. Are you familiar with that game at all?
In theory.
In theory? Okay, cool. It's just a video game. Yeah, mass multiplayer online video game. That's all you need to know. That's anyways. So I've been
It's
getting
all
back
good.
into that game. And the reason why that's important to me is because that's essentially the premise of being a streamer, being a content creator streamer is streaming me playing that video game. And that video game has I can go on about that game as to why it's important for that avenue another time. But the more important thing is that game is currently right now under development for a brand new expansion. Now,
Gotcha.
one of the features that expansion is going to have is going to be this one dungeon. I know, nerdy, right? That's essentially going to be literally
Dungeons are
and
cool.
yeah, but this one here, how they're
The real ones.
design, yeah, the real ones. The how they're designing it is that it's going to essentially be an endless tower where you're essentially going to be able to go into this dungeon and it never ends,
All
right?
right.
It sounds boring, but yesterday, the developer Blizzard, they just released for testing for certain people, content creators, friends, family, that kind of stuff. Like just to put it out there to those people and be like, test it, let's make sure that it
Tested.
works, right? So
Yeah.
it's literally just an alpha test. So yesterday, content creators were streaming it, or for the past couple of days, they were streaming it. And so I'm watching it. I've been watching, like, and that's part of the reason why I've been so fucking late in getting our previous
I know
episode
how
up.
that is. When you
Yeah,
tap into something, it's just like disappear mode.
exactly. So I was watching a ton of these guys grinding the shit out of this dungeon, and then yesterday morning it struck me with the all-in challenge. I'm like, a way in which I believe you can get esports involved in the World of Warcraft streaming scene because it is fucking huge. Like as weird as it sounds, the streaming scene for that video game is massive, absolutely enormous. And so what I was wanting to do is try and get the all-in challenge involved with that scene
Mm.
by when the expansion gets released and when everything goes live, because right now everything's just testing. So when it goes live, what I would say is that when it's possible, that the community does a chained charity stream event in support of the All In Challenge, and
Mm.
the stream essentially would be grinding that dungeon for 24 hours straight.
Do it.
I go to my Twitter, the panels below
All
this
right.
video, you'll see that there's an Instagram post, there's a Twitter post, even in my fucking LinkedIn, you'll see a quick video that I did yesterday morning because as soon as that idea
Gary would be
struck,
proud for sure. If you haven't
yeah.
hit him up with that,
Oh,
like,
you have
good.
no idea how many times I've hit him up. Oh my god, like this. Uh, Sorry, I know we're trying to wrap this up. You know
No, no, no worries.
how we were talking about like boundaries and stuff like that, and trying to be like not be overbearing to people, whatnot.
There are none. There are none.
In this case with Gary
In this
Vee,
case, it's just like knocking on the door and then someone opens.
this is the
Literally.
only case in which I've been persistently annoying, in which I am like tagging him on fucking everything. Like if you saw my Twitter feed for just yesterday, his team and him got blasted with my shit. They must have
Wait for a phone call really soon, I
it's
think.
like yeah, it's like and all it
I wouldn't be
was
surprised if you would be on like on his Q&A, to be honest, at T Talk all of a sudden, like if you did text
I'm not even
at the
going
same
for that.
time.
Like
I'm
I'm
in
not even
Europe,
going for that
so
at
I
all.
have
It's
no
like
no chance because it's really like country limited at this point. But I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden it's like, hey man, just by pure annoyance, chill the fuck out. Okay, I'm listening to you right now. Like, what you got? So
Yeah, it's
I would be
like and
surprised. I
anyways,
probably should be doing that too in e-arts, but yeah,
mm,
it's way too out there. It's the future. It's way ahead.
yeah, it's like
But
but if
with
you
you,
want,
esports
oh,
and gaming, I think
yeah, it's
it's
like
already done.
because I have like I'm also like really passionate with music, right? And I also have an idea and I also have a plan to tie that in with it as well, but I'm not going to reveal any of that yet because it does require
Oh,
a very specific couple of DJs and radio station to back me on it. So anyways, I'm not going to reveal too much on that part. Anyways, but as far as like that charity event would go, but it would literally just be just people trying to donate and raise funds to put in for the all in challenge. But yeah, like in my Twitter feed, in the panel below, it's pinned at the top. You'll see literally a minute and 37-second video of me just quickly like that video was recorded within 120 seconds of that brainchild coming into my head.
all right.
It literally, I'm just like sitting there on my phone, waiting for my water to boil, and next minute I'm just like, fuck. And then
There you
I
go.
immediately then it like hit me and I was like, I have to I'm like, it's one of those things where I don't have a pen and paper, but I have to capture it. Fuck, record.
By the way, if I can share anything while I'll go, I just hooked up that
Oh, you
crowdfunding thing for the podcast. So whoever wants to support that, and I think Rob has became an immediate like part-time member of that. I don't know, like we were slowly transitioning, to this whole collab podcast thing. So at some point, this will need to have some equipment tweaks, some editorial tweaks. So in order
yeah,
to kind of
all in
sustain
time.
that shit, all donations are very greatly appreciated and pretty much helping each other out in the field, whatever we do, either sitting in front of monitors these days, creating, trying to, do content, throw shit out until we can do all of this, in real life again. So there
Yeah.
you go. That's
I'll
something
shoot
to look
you.
at. It's going to be everywhere on Rock Dance Theater. I just threw it on Facebook so far because I had no time due to that photo shoot, and also I wanted to be on time for our thing. So yeah, constantly, action, 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 and yeah, I
I'll
will hit
shoot you
you
over
up
the links
later,
with
Rob.
this episode and the previous episode as well. It'll be on my YouTube channel, but you're more than welcome to download it if you want to have a digital copy for yourself for you to go and chop up however you will, so you can do your thing on your end.
I have an idea to actually throw that live. I need to just figure out the publishing times, to be honest, so that it kind of makes sense. And I'm still thinking, should it be Europe or should it be just Canadian time to hit kind of those folks over there? Yeah,
Honestly, it doesn't matter to me.
we should speak about that.
Yeah, we'll
Like
figure it
kind of
out.
off air. We'll do
Yeah,
that. I'll hit
agreed.
you
All
up,
right.
Rob, later. And thank you so much for having me again. Always great talking. Super cool vibe and a great hangout.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much there, Anna. We'll do
Stay
it again
safe.
very
Thank you
soon.
so much. See you
Take
later.
care.
Bye. Take care, guys.
Yeah, what a doll. I like that girl. She's really cool. Yeah, I wish I could talk her ear off. Like that was like what 58 minutes. Yeah, I could talk that girl's ear off for hours and hours and hours. And there's like so much that I want to try and cram in, but at the same time, it's like, no, we can actually span this out. But yeah, yeah. Anyways, Amy, thank you very much for joining me. I really, really, really appreciate it. Anyways, I have my hood on just because like I want to get a little bit of sun in here, but at the same time, I literally just woke up like not even an hour and a bit ago. He's like, she's literally the second person I've talked to like all for the past like 48 hours. And also I'm just kind of blinded right now because it's snowy and all of the sun is bouncing off of the snow, and so it's a little brighter than normal. Anyways, thank you very much for joining me there, ladies and gentlemen. This has been another edition of the ZMG podcast. We will do this again. I have no fucking idea when. Oh, actually, you know what? Nay. I'll let y'all know when that one goes on, but I am actually going to be doing a podcast with Tea with Mike next Thursday on the 23rd at 7 p.m. And I'm probably going to be doing it using this method as well. So I'll preemptively promote that on my socials and whatnot and try and get people in on that action as well. Looks like for the day, for me, I'm just going to quickly let my brain do its thing so that way I can kind of know what the hell I'm going to be doing for the day. I need to tag, produce. What's that? What? I've been up for 2 hours or so. My hair looks terrible. Same, yeah. Tea with Mike, yeah, the dude that, did his thing with Vaynerchuk the other morning. Yeah, I was just like, cause like the dude literally lives like 2 hours north of me. I had no bloody idea he was in the same province, and I was like, dude, I'm like, we're in the same bloody province. I'm like, and you're from England. It's like we got some stories we can tell. Go to find out, the guy is a big fan of theater. He likes like live performances, all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, okay, we got to talk. I'm like, we got some story. I'm like, I got me some stories I can share with you for sure. Yeah, it's like that was really rad. But anyways, so I'll be doing that on Thursday. So I'll make sure I promote all of that. But then yeah, so while I'm actually sitting here, just give me 1 second because what we're gonna do is I'm gonna quickly show you guys that video I was actually talking about. Give me a second. I'm just gonna quickly share this. Share audio. Cool. Good morning, Gary. My name is Rob. This is my all-in challenge to the global World of Warcraft streaming community. Holy shit, that's disorienting. This is my challenge for the all-in challenge. With the release of Shadowlands for World of Warcraft and Torghast, the Endless Tower of the Damned. When possible, when we have more information, I want those that are capable or that are wanting to participate to conduct a 24-hour grind of Torghast upon release when it is possible, but I want it to be a chained event. So, and any of the money, all proceeds, 100% of the proceeds will be put towards the all-in challenge, which will go towards feeding the global community, just trying to feed the fucking world for that matter. Either way, as far as my all-in challenge, because I am a nobody, but I want to participate outside of just simply, buying raffle tickets, which I definitely will, because yours is the best. Anyways, that is my challenge to the entire global streaming community. That way we can also try and get esports in on the game, but this is the way in which I want to do it. My name is Robert Enzyme. I'm of the Alliance. This is my all-in challenge. You too, Horde. I needed to be a little bit provocative to kind of see if I could light some fires. Yeah. But anyways, that is kind of my idea that I have there. So yeah, try nice mug. Yeah. Thanks a lot there, Anna. Yes, you have yourself a good rest of the night. Yeah, I know it's so small. All right, you take care, my dear. And see, never say I'm a nobody, right? I know. Well, in comparison, well, here's the thing: is like that was kind of because here's the thing: is the reason why like that popped up is because as far as being a contributor to the All In Challenge, at the very top of their webpage, they even said that it's for like A-listed people and whatnot. And so that's kind of what I meant, like in comparison. And I know comparisons is an ugly word. You should never really compare, and that's not really what my intent was. It was more like I don't really have anything cool to offer. It like I don't have like a Lambo that I can get rid of for a few $100,000 to throw in, or I'm not famous enough to like take you to a mixed martial arts event or anything like that, because that's what I'm into. Like nothing like that. But at the same time, it was one of those kind of get the ball rolling, poke and just see if I can expand that. Well, just expand the scope. That's what I was going for. Just expanding the scope outside of like just like athletes, sports, influencers and stuff like that. I want to get like esports and streamers and stuff like that, and like big streamers in on the game as well, because they can definitely contribute to this huge. Like I'm talking like your ninjas, your Tim the Tap Man, like your Sloop Bag, your Dr. Lupo, yeah, like all those guys, they can heavily contribute. Anyways, I'll kick your ass. Fuck that. I should get back to having an opinion on that because I don't got the time to make don't make me. I'll keep that in mind, Anna. Thank you very much. You take care, my dear. But anyways, but yeah, like that was a. But even like the first time that I looked back on that video, and as soon as I heard, it's like, oh, I'm no, but I'm just like, I immediately kind of facepalm myself because again, I was kind of reading the website in my head as I was recording that. And when I remembered it saying at the very top that it was for A-listed stuff, that's when my brain kind of snapped to that. And I was like, oh, fuck. And I just kind of blurted it out loud. Speaking of which, let's take a quick look and see where they're sitting at now. Holy fuck. Son of a bitch. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. That was fucking cool. That was fun. Fucking look at that. Jesus Christ. Got him. Jesus fuck, man. 9.7 million goddamn dollars. In just a little over 3 days, almost 4. I thought this was kind of cool when I saw it pop up, Madonna's autographed tour jacket. I thought that was kind of Bill Murray. You gotta be fucking kidding me. You got fucking Bill Murray. That's so good. Yeah. Fucking good for them. Good for them. That's incredible. That makes me over goddamn joyed to see that. All right, Anna. You take care. All right. I'm gonna get the hell on out of here. I need to get me some stuff done. Let me quickly ramble this out so that way I'm on the hook for it. I need to get the first episode of ZMG Podcast with Anna up. I'm gonna do that within the next hour or two, and then I'm gonna do the same thing to this guy as well. I'm gonna cut all my rambles and shit out of it and upload up to YouTube. And I got to make sure I get those links sent over to Anna as well. And I got to see if I can find me some clips to slice some nuggets out of it. Then I got to, then I got to work on the Into the Trivia Pit too. Fuck. I got 6 clips I got to post for Into the Trivia Pit. And I got to send that link out to Sean the Butcher. Oh my God. Fuck. This is going to suck. Those 6 clips are, wait, I think I got my 6 clips. I just got to post them. Oh, please tell me I got those 6 clips. Do I have them? 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 I got the fucking clips. I just got to post them. I just got to make sure that the resolutions are all good for Twitter and Instagram, respectively. Post them, tag them. Good. Fuck yeah. I'm going to take tomorrow off. All right. I'm out of here, people. Thank you very much. I'm Rob. Take it easy. Till next time.